Hello guys, this is Quadrazid speaking, and I'm going to do some commentary for my recent OUTTAKES 4 speedrun. So here I just included some of the intro from the original game, so you know why and what will happen when I spawn later. So I got many questions of how I got the shotgun at the beginning, and it's very simple. I just use my use key on the soldier here. That will distract him from killing the slave. So the slave will kill him, and he drops his weapon right to me. The game have gone black, but you can see when the crosshair appears, and also hear the pickup sound. It was Kite Kid who have seen a video on YouTube how to get the MP5 from the other side of the fence. And he showed a video to me, and I figured out how to get the shotgun instead, since it's way more powerful and useful. So here in the beginning, most of you may know that the scientist is supposed to give first aid to the soldier. But there's supposed to be a fade-in screen from black here, but that is lost in the demo playback. So here I'll show you how it's supposed to look like. And as you can see, it took some time before they get teleported. So I gotta shoot him to get the MP5 in time. And since there is a black fade in here, I did this segment very short. It's like 3 or 4 seconds. So I did this entirely by memory. So here's the second segment. Some clean bunny hopping. Gotta take the vest to proceed later. Now I'm going to help the guard to kill the zombie here. And now I take the shortest path to his door opening trigger. And during this speech, you can't push him towards the scanner or something like that. So that's why I shoot him here. And now he interrupts his speech and is trying to get his sight on me to shoot. But he can't reach me since I'm moving around on the lamp. So I'm manipulating this to get him as close to the scanner as possible when it's time to open up. And as you can see, it went really good. Only 2 steps left to the scanner. And I'm also using lower FPS for him to turn around and face the scanner faster. And now it's time for some tricky share boosting. So I'm just dragging it along with me. And now a max velocity boost. And I slightly touch the angled glass to get some height, to get above the stairs. And now just keeping as much speed as I can. So here in the stair, I'm using my custom dock roll script. It's spamming the crouch key very quickly. So I'm bouncing on and off the ground. So with the perfect timing, I can climb the steps and maintain my speed. Some clean B up. And this enter here is really hard. And here comes a nice skip. This electricity you can see here is supposed to instantly kill you. But there is some flaws in the trigger, so with some luck you can just jump right through it. Not all her triggers works like that, so I'm not sure why that one is different. Since I already got the shotgun at this point, I can skip this one. You could see by the alien slave up there, saving a few seconds. Here I'm using a box for object boosting, the shortest path to start this time scripted sequence. Gonna speed it up since it's pretty boring, nothing happens. So eventually the keyman will open up the door for me. So here we go. Built some momentum before going under the door. Here we have a new cool map. So what I'm going to do is use the wooden box for object boosting, and this angle here is gonna be perfect, or the box would get stuck on an edge up there. Now I'm doing a edge jump up to the battery, and now a second boost, as fast as possible, but still being able to take this curve good enough. And now entering the pipe. And here comes a skip that saves 10 seconds. So in front of me now is a invisible wall. And between the invisible wall and the real wall to the left is an acute angle, which I get stuck in right here. And here the invisible wall is gone, so I just strafing like a crazy to reach the bridge. And now I actually have a guest appearance, Crash Fortress, because this was from the beginning meant to be a team run, with the Ravex, Crash Fortress and Pineapple and maybe some other guys too, but they all had some kind of problems. Like Pineapple couldn't even install his, Ravex didn't feel for playing, and Crash Fortress said he had lags in his game. But anyway, he did this segment right here. So he's going to do a jump bug, I'm not going into the details what a jumper is, but it's basically avoiding fall damage from any height. If you want to know how it works, just YouTube or Google it and you'll find out. So here we go. Releasing duck and jumping on the same frame, 4 units or less from the ground, and voila. So it's just shooting the boxes to get the robot started. Collecting grenades meanwhile. And here's a nice trick. We're lowering the FPS again to make the robot rotate faster, thus reach his waypoint faster as well. Sadly, Crash Fortress segments end soon, and I will complete the game by myself from now on. I think we change like now, and I'm back to the controls. Just activating this time script sequence as fast as possible. The toxic is sinking. And here I'm lowering the FPS to like 5. That's where you can see a slight lag there, to get less damage from it. Building some speed here, out the elevator. And with a jumping script I'm able to maintain it up this slope as well. And here we have a 2-minute long tram ride, so I'm going fast forward. I had a nice trick here, but I couldn't get it to work. It would be getting out of the train before it started and ride it on the roof. So when the map changes later here, I wouldn't have to wait for the doors to open, and I could also be closer to the next map. But yeah, the door closed way too fast, so I couldn't get out. So we're at the end station, and as you will see here, I'm going outside the rail. That is because I want to avoid the trigger that spawned the alien slaves. If I wouldn't do that, they would go to this place and kill the guard. So I wouldn't get this gun later on. This bunnying up here is pretty hard actually, because you tend to lose speed when jumping on the upward slopes. But this turned out slightly faster than wall strafing it up. So here I trigger the sequence to break the window. I'm cleaning my path for my way back. So here I'm shooting the guard. Pulls out his gun here, and I smash him to get it. And here gaining some speed to burst out the window. But let's pause here. I think it was Exploding Cabbage who was waiting for me to use the alien slave to get that door opened, just like Spider-Waffle used to skip parts of his complex and the entire We Got Untitled Chapter, etc. But in the map editor you can see in the options for this door that there is a flag checked for monsters can't, and that means monsters can't open the door at all. And that's also the case for all the doors I've checked where it could be useful. But let's continue now. Pretty good timing out the window here. And here comes a pretty cool trick to skip the elevator and saves 4 or 5 seconds. So I'm going to use this chair through the wall from the outside. But to be able to perform that, I need more space for the chair to move. So I need to blow up that dead scientist body lying there. So now I'm hiding behind a corner, waiting for the grenade to explode. Moving the chair to left, now boosting right. And I hit the slope perfect and gain some decent height. I grab the shotgun ammo and also up to 6 armor points for an upcoming boost. Jumping from the ladder into the vent here is pretty hard. Here's some nice door-to-door jumping. And down here, you might wonder, what the fuck is this guy doing here? So let me show you. So these 2 boxes is allied grunts, and they will run out to the helicopter when I enter this trigger here. And this port here will close when I enter a trigger over there. But what I originally planned to do was standing on this edge here and jump just clean over a trigger, so the grunts would still be standing down there when I got done. Obviously I didn't do it because I managed to be fast enough between the triggers here, so I closed the door in front of him and trapped him inside. So, why would I want this guy inside? Well, It's fucking awesome for speedrunning. It got huge potential. So I'm gonna kill him to get it, and also make this trick here to get pretty much infinite ammo. So here's a external clip to show you how it works. So when he drops it, I save, and when I reload the save, he'll drop it all over again. And this process is very easy to loop, so you can keep doing it for eternity. And you see it builds up quite a bit of ammo on the ground here. This early machine gun pickup saved me in total 20 seconds, compared to grabbing it when the transit system starts. So that's pretty good. You may also wonder why the recoil ain't pushing me backwards like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna show you a playback at 5% speed, how it actually works. As you can see, it's perfect backward shooting for optimal boost. So back to the run. This hole here was very hard to enter without taking more fall damage than I did. And at this upcoming place here, I tried very hard to get here one fire cycle earlier, but even if I would empty the full clip, I wouldn't get here in time, so I had to wait it out. Here I'm landing on the slope, gain some speed. Here surfing down the pipe to avoid fall damage, and again using this loop. And here we have a really hard segment here, because always when dealing with grenades you have to consider the grenade timing, because saving after you pull the grenade pin you will reset the timer, so you have to start it all over again. But I did a neat slope jump up there, and here duck rolling up the stair, jumping over the pit drone. And here's another tricky boost, ladder grenade boost. The timing is gonna be very perfect to get it right. Now recoil boosting into the hallway. And here's a new map starting. So I couldn't jump straight into this vent here, because I would hit the lamp in the ceiling. So I had to start from zero with the recoil boosting. And here on this shelf there's a small lip, so I can just get enough height to get over the blockade. And here I'm using the secondary wrench attack to smash the head crab, and then quickly change to the shotgun. This grenade boost is very hard, because you gotta have a perfect placement of the grenade, perfect distance and perfect timing. So it's much stuff that gotta line up. Here comes a nice trick involving a grenade to frighten a blowtorch grunt. So I'm putting in a grenade in here. He'll get frightened and run to his trigger zone to blowtorch the door. Because normally you would have to enter this room and start a small speech of his, and then make him follow. So this trick saves like 6 seconds or so. And just now I'm just collecting stuff, meanwhile he torched the door. And I'm also using the scientist for some healing, so I'm slightly ahead of Spider-Waffle in health at this point. If I wouldn't put this grenade here, the grunt would attack me on this new map. So this map I'm very satisfied with. Some really cool tricks and fluent motion. This slave here isn't solid, as you can see. Here I'm putting a grenade to avoid slave attacks. And inside this next room I have another cheap way to avoid attacks. As you can see here, I have 3 slaves in front of me and like 2 from behind. So what I'm gonna do is save here, and when I reload, their attack have been reset. So here they restart their attack, and do the same trick here in this hallway, but it's a new map, but it's the same procedure. So this is what would have happened if I wouldn't do this save trick. Pretty brutal. Jumping beneath this pipe here was pretty hard. You're making a slope jump up and the improved grenade boost. Saves like 3 seconds compared to Spider-Waffle's one. Here's another route improvement. So I'm using this grenade glitch to push the grenade to the other side, so it will blow up the latch and unlock the door. So it saves some traveling distance. And now I'm gonna use a grenade to frighten the medic, to make him run. And now panic the assassins while killing them. These 2 are locked in that position till I break the vent grill, so they can't harm anyone. And here I do the save loop again and spawn 8 grenades. which will be useful later. So now I'm just collecting stuff while he's healing him. And now I bring both of them, because I want to heal as well. Now I can collect even more stuff when he's bow torching the door. Now it's my turn to heal. Here we go. So down here I have only 9 rounds to headshot them. I gotta kill both, or the shotgun guy would attack me while I'm doing this save loop. So now when my clip is empty, I don't have to reload. I just gotta pick up a new fresh weapon, saving the reload time. Here a damage boost up to open the port, and another grenade to frighten the assassins. Here I'm doing a slope jump up to the button. There's also a trick with the machine gun reloading, as you might see. So I just gotta start the reloading, and I can use other weapons meanwhile. Here I take help from the slanted wall to turn left. It wouldn't be possible to turn that sharp otherwise at that high speed. Here you can see the machine gun clip getting full. Here I took 1 armor for the wall. Now I'm gonna boost up some decent speed. And those jumps here will line up perfect, so I land just in front of the slope to gain height enough to reach the teleporter. So I'm doing this blind right now. Now I'm reloading the machine gun, but I can use this grenade meanwhile. I could grab the Displacer gun a bit sooner, but this boost here is pretty hard to get the right damage, so it's alright. Here I'm grabbing the ladder at the very top, and now boosting to start the teleport sequence ASAP. Taking some health and armor for upcoming events, making the scientist follow, skipping one of his speech with a grenade. Bursting into a door with some nice timing, strafing from the ladder, strafing, recoil boosting, and now starting this teleport sequence from the outside, so I don't have to go around to enter, and I can also pick up the extra cells for the Displacer gun. There's really not much to comment on this part here, so I'm just going fast forward. But soon comes the first instance of the Displacer trick, which I will explain here. This trick only works within one map, so I'm going to show off the greatest skip on this map here. So I'm just using the secondary to fire a portal. So here we go, onto the Zen sub-level. And now when I get back on Earth, you often get put pretty close to the teleportation point. As you can see, it's not very useful, is it? So let's do it again. So now I'm gonna save the game and then reload it. So after the reload, the information about where I did the teleportation from the first place is lost. So right now it doesn't matter where I did the teleportation. Instead I will be sent to a default spawn point, which is normally around the center of the map. As you can see, I skipped a pretty big chunk of the game. So I'm going to do this trick here, and also a few more times later. So here I save, and I spawn ahead. Some confusing teleports, but it's okay, I guess. Now I'm just gonna get to the next map and do the same trick once again, right here. And that's a very small sub-level, as you could see. Here comes a small, but still one of my favorite tricks in the run. Reversing the elevator with a Tripmine. It can't be attached to a moving object, but it slowly falls down and still blocking the elevator. So to release it, I just pick it up again. And when I do, it's 50-50 if it will go up or down. So let's continue. Here on this map I have the phenomenon that one jump is too short, but 2 jumps is too long. So I'm using a technique from Counter-Strike community, which is called count jump. So I simply tap the crouch key, and it will make me leave the ground for a brief time. I guess you could say it's a short and low jump. So here it will be some boosting for the hallways, and at the end of the hallway I have a completely different route than Spider-Waffle had, because he used the Displacer gun here, and I used this slope to prevent me from taking fall damage. It's about the same time, but I saved the cells it took to make the teleportation, so I'm able to make another Displacer shortcut later on. So now I'm collecting some health and armor whilst the door opens, and out this second door here I will make a object boost, which was very hard to do, because the angle the boost will result in is the angle I'm able to move the object in. And as you can see, it's a very tight space between the wall and the bull squid. Here see I push the barrel a bit to left, you get more space into the correct direction. So for the boost here, I'm using a script to use it the exact number of frames, because if I would use it only one more frame, the barrel would hit the bull squid and I would get the incorrect direction and crash into the wall. And just outside the door, I had to quickly strafe away from the toxic waste laying out there, or I would take some damage right there. And that's it. So up here I'll make some recoil boosting and jump by the very hard to bypass monster. And here I will make the Displacer trick again that I showed the example of. There's a really neat segment. Those Tripmines is pretty random to jump right through, but it's possible. Shooting a grenade to avoid attacks. Enter a new map and do the Displacer trick again. This segment is pretty hard, because in the corners of the tunnel there is some invisible edges that you tend to get stuck on, but it's alright. And here I use the medic, while the other guy torches. And up here I will grab the sniper, which is very effective towards the final boss later, using the slope to get some height. I really don't want to pick up the extra ammo I pass by here to the right, because I want to have a empty clip when I get back here, so I don't have to reload after doing this save warp again. And you can see I'm using the sniper, but it actually is the machine gun. You can get it bug sometimes when you pick up new weapons and switching to another. And while waiting for the explosion, I'm taking some health and armor, because from now on I have a very tight schedule for health and armor. I can't afford one single hit from enemies, because then I won't be able to make my very time-saving grenade boosts later. And now, since I'm gonna enter the pipe from this side, the Gargantua helped me to block off the explosions, because if I would enter from the other side, I would have to take some distance from the explosions, or I would get some pretty bad damage. Down here comes the only map that actually is slower than the previous run by Spider-Waffle. And it's pretty funny, since many of the guys I showed the timetable to, they reacted like, "Hey, why is that map slower than Spider-Waffle?" So I'm going to show you how it looks like. So the small window is Spider-Waffle, and I'm in the background. And as you can see, it's going to use the Displacer. So let's take a look. It spawns quite a bit ahead, and I just got out of the pipe. And after its boost, and here he reaches the new map. But at this point I have built some pretty serious momentum, and as you can see I catch up pretty quick. I'm going to let this roll a bit, so you can see how much this grenade boost saves compared to Spider-Waffle's boost. So here I'm down the vent already. And Spider-Waffle just got his way up to the roof to make the snark boost. And there we go. I don't want to enter the water here, because the water in Opposing Force slows you down very much compared to Half-Life. Same thing here. And there I had to land slightly on the wall, or I would take fall damage. And I can't afford any damage, as I told you earlier. The area right here is very hard to speedrun, because the helicopter will always hit you. You can see its bullets whiz by. So I actually divided this part in many small segments to lock manipulate to get by here unharmed. So I will load up a save to show you what it looks like when I attempted this. So as you can see, it doesn't look very promising, but when you divide it in small segments, it is possible to get by unharmed. Made it pretty long here. I'm very satisfied using this slope here to dive right down the vent. Here I gotta recover some from the boost. The part right here is very easy actually. And here I'm reloading the machine gun. That's why I'm a bit late here to fire. And here I'm putting some grenades to avoid attacks from the assassins. Here I'm throwing a satchel to blow up the boxes behind the corner to get some cells for upcoming Displacer shortcuts. And here comes the last chapter of the game, Worlds Collide. And I have to say I'm very satisfied with this part here. So I'm gonna collect the last medkit and make a slope jump up here to get the last cell to make a teleport. So now I'm gonna enter the correct trigger zone here. This is the only Displacer trick I do without saving, because if I would save here I would get a completely fucked up spawn. If you want more examples with tricks without saving, then you can look at my single segment run. Here's a big damage boost, down to 1 HP. Now all in with a machine gun. This coming turn here is very hard to make, because it's gotta be very smooth, or I lose too much speed and won't be able to make the slope slide. And of course the assassins, it's very hard to avoid their attacks. And now it's down to the final boss, the big pink-green octopus rhino. Don't have to hurry much right now, because to spawn the final boss I need to enter 2 triggers, and if I'm too fast between the 2, the boss won't appear at all. That's why I slow down a bit right here. Now it will take some time before the boss appears, so I got plenty of time to recover some health, reloading weapons, and also prepare the battle, aiming the laser cannons. So here we go. Here I use the script to place the grenade and shoot the eye with the frame perfect timing. And those sniper shots, I do not recommend to try those out. They're extremely difficult to hit, and that's the only reason why I'm, I think, 2 seconds faster than Spider-Waffle on this map. Because as soon as both eyes are out, you're able to shoot the belly, big pink belly. Since the cannon is already aimed to the eye, I don't have to stand behind it and aim again. What the script did was putting the grenade on the floor, with correct timing to the eye of course, and then shoot the cannon for only 1 frame. And here I had time to recover some health to make this final boost here. I will show the last sniper shot in slow motion as well. That shot is fucking hard. Well, I defeated him, and I saved the mankind from alien invasion. After this I will include some outtakes and other weird glitches that occurred during the process of the run. And it's pretty hard for me to know what's obvious and what's not. So if you still got any questions, just post a comment. So I hope you all enjoyed the speedrun. Quadrazid out.
Roger that! Stand back, Corporal. This should only take a minute.
I certainly hope you know what you're doing.